Good evening, everyone. It's so exciting. I'm excited. I'm so grateful. I'm happy to see the light of today. We were out since last week and now we're alive. A lot of people started this week with us. Today is Tuesday. There are no more. And we can't blame them. We can't query God. We can't question him. He's an unquestionable, he's an unqueryable. You can't ask him why or what are you doing. He is God all by himself. From beginning to the end is God all by himself. I welcome everyone this evening. We are going to be answering questions. It is question and answer. I'm trying to read the question to us. One that came. We're going to have a blast. Please don't listen alone. Tell your friends, tell people to come and listen. It's going to be powerful. People have a lot of things bothering their minds. They don't know what to do. They don't know who to tell. And if you don't have information, you are going to be deformed. It's thank you, ma. It takes understanding to stand. It takes understanding to be outstanding. Please, if you can share with your friends, we are taking question and answers, and we're going to dig into a lot of things. A lady sent me a text. She said, ma, I'm a 25-year-old lady. I've had a child before. Now I'm dating a guy. I did not tell him that I have a child before. Now I'm pregnant for him, and he got to know that I had a child. I don't know what to do. I'm confused. I know that relationship is done with. Please help me, ma. Just help me. Can I say this to everyone hearing me tonight? Welcome, everyone. Please share with your friends. It's question and answer time. Ask funkeadetuberu. Listen to me very profoundly. When it comes to relationship, the dimension of trust is so important. Very, very important. Because if you don't trust, if trust is abused and violated in a relationship, that is the end. It's going to kill everything about that relationship. And in life, you don't demand trust, you earn it. People don't demand trust, they earn it. In every relationship, the moment you disappoint once, you do it the second time. As a matter of fact, some people don't give you another chance. We have some personality that will never give you another chance to rewrite your history, to change your story, to repent, as it were, because probably there are so many reasons why people don't really trust again after trust has been abused or violated or has been, violated. That's the word I'm looking for. The moment that happens, it's going to be very difficult to trust back, because somebody that trusts you before has actually put a price. The person has put hope and belief, trust in you. So the moment that happens, what happens at the end of the day is the person will begin to go down querying and questioning his or her convictions. Now, let me balance this before I proceed, because I know I have multiple audience and I don't want you to misunderstand me. In the natural, it is human. It is human to err. It's head to err. It's natural to make mistakes. There's no perfect anybody anywhere. But listen, the moment you are frail, you are frail. But there are some fundamental issues in our relationship that we cannot mess with. Now, in the course of relationship, you made a mistake, you fall, or something happens. Of course, you can bounce back, because the person that has broken your heart or has done something that the person is not supposed to do is penitent, is repentant. He wants to make it up, even if it's adultery, even if it's fornication, if it's business distrust, whatever it is. You can see the effort that the person is putting into making things work in that relationship. Amazing. But in a situation where which somebody had done something wrong, now I'm talking about releasing someone from your heart and when trust is built, because this lady that asked this question now is in trouble. The issue of having a child outside, having a child before you met the guy and you kept it till you are married, now you are pregnant, and the man got to know, that foundation is shaky. You need God, divinity. You need counseling. You need help. You need pleading. You need a lot of things to make that man believe you again, because that kind of distrust is strong, is powerful, is fundamental. Don't say, oh, is it not that she had a child and she didn't tell? No. Now, let me explain something to you about trust. I'm sitting in my office now, I'm recording. And this chair I'm sitting on probably just falls me down. And it was obvious I'm on a live program. And it falls me down. Of course, I'll stand up. I don't have a choice. Now, I bought this chair in a particular store in the UK precisely. And I know the furniture in that place. I don't want to give them cheap publicity. That's why I'm not mentioning name. Now, I call them, you know, Nigeria, in Africa where I live, if you buy anything and it's not working, use your life. You just count your loss and move on. But when I called them in that company, I'm being tempted to mention the name. I call that company and I blast them and I tell them, what the nonsense, what are you doing? You're messing me up. I'm going to get my money. I'm going to sue you, blah, blah, blah. And with all the rakings, I've filled the form, I've talked to their HO, I've done everything, and they said, madam, sorry. We want to fly this chair back to London and bring it back. And you knew they paid for this chair, sent it back to England, do whatever they want to do, flew it back to Nigeria at their expense, and they still gave me, they paid penalty for the messing up of the chair that made me to fall down. I can even say, oh, this neck, this ankle, you know, is paining me. I can sue them for not making things to work for me or making me sick. That's the way it is. Now, flying that chair back to Nigeria where I live, if I want to sit on that chair, I will check it. Having a child before meeting a guy, and you are not confident enough to expose that part of your life to the person you are getting married to, and he got to know. Hey, can I say this to everyone hearing me today? Say it. There's no point. You know, you don't lie to build, you don't use a lie to cover a lie. Lie can go for 200 years. Truth will meet it one day. And honestly, if you have said the truth, you don't have to remember what you have said. Do you know what the Bible says? They were both naked and they are not ashamed. A lot of people, because of their dysfunctionality, where they're coming from, what life has done to them, what people have done to them, they don't know that the best thing to do is to bring it to the open. Because listen, have you ever thought of this? Let me put it this way. You've dated a guy, and later the guy became the governor, and the ADC has slept with you, and the man does not know your past. And anytime you are trying to feel like you are the first lady, the ADC will say, madam, give me 1 million. If you don't give me 1 million, I will tell your guy that I've been there. The guy has now become a sacred cow. God forbid. In relationships, say everything. Now, I know that I need to balance this, because I deal with issues in relationships, and I know there are people that trusting them with the information, the secret of your life, you are not safe. But if you know you are going to live with that person for the rest of your life, and you know it cannot keep your secret, still say it. Because people like that, when they get to know, oh my God, they will publish it in Gats. Say it on the street of Eskelon. They will tell the world about what they know about you that is a secret. And that's why when you are going into a relationship, hear me and hear me carefully. It is only a dog that would die, that will not listen to the whistle of the hunters. That's the proverb in my language. A dog that would die will not hear when the hunter is whistling and say, danger, danger, Riro, here, bingo, come, there is danger. He will not listen, because he wants to get lost. When it comes to making a decision in relationship, can you just do yourself a great favor by asking people and listening to the voice of wisdom? A lot of people are regretting today. One person or the other, if God is your father, he will not push you to trouble, but a lot of us are stubborn. We try to be rigid, and rigidity is an energy of a fool. They just made up their minds. I've made up my mind. God has spoken. And you know, the way we are in our old faith, I don't know this new generation, But for us who are old Christians, old pastors, when you say thus saith the Lord, nobody will say anything again. Because you said God has spoken. Who are we? Are you bigger than God? So that puts a person that is even giving you a word of wisdom, a word of reasoning, common sense, you put that person in a box. I've seen people that have come to say, the Lord has said. And when they say God said, who are we? You just keep quiet. But as a professional, you know the prognosis. You can give them the answer, the answer to the crisis. Take it to the bank. It's clear. Because this is it. Now, let me balance it properly now. About divulging all the information is better. Let your spouse know what he or she is going into. Now, at the end of the day, you are going to be appreciated. If the man is not a narcissist, don't get me wrong. One of these days I'll talk about narcissism, but this is question and answer. If the man has a personality disorder, is another story for another time. But what I'm saying is, in a good relationship, the best thing is to tell the person you are getting married to, you know you have made up your mind to spend the rest of your life with the person. Tell the person, this and this and this have been my experiences in life. Now, that is the test of love. If the person really loves you, it will go all the way. He will tell you it's your past. I can manage it. I will handle it. We are in it together. We will rough it together. We weather the storm together. And that will be excellent. But if you know that this person, now listen, let me digress again. I'm saying a lot of things in this session. Now listen, if you notice a sign, there is nobody that have experienced anything in marriage that the signs were not there. The handwriting was clear on the wall. So God cannot be blamed. Even if you don't have an idea, there'll be someone. I said something. I said, God is your father. If you are a child of the living God, he would have given you heads up, a sign that something is not right somewhere here. Now, if you go like a goat, going to a slaughterhouse is your life. Enjoy. And most of the time, it's always a tough place to be. Especially when the voice of wisdom, the voice of reasoning, the wisdom was crying. And you told wisdom, shut up. I'm going to take my route. I'm going to go my path. I prefer my ways. Forget it. Now listen. Anytime you find yourself in a relationship and you know it's going to end in marriage. Now, the best you can also do, if you know you are not safe and all of that, talk to a counselor. Ask questions. Can I, this or sir, whosoever is your counselor, I've led such a life before. I've done that. So many things that happened to me. Should I tell my fiancé? A professional will ask you some intentional questions, deliberate questions, to be able to get the diagnosis of the person that you are relating with. I'm using medical terms because a doctor would ask you a lot of questions, then ask you this and that. Then by the time you are answering those questions, he's noting the things that are coming to be a problem. So the best thing you can do is to make it open. Listen to me. The Bible said they were both naked and they are not ashamed. The moment every information is divulged and you know it, the joy is very clear. We are knit together. I love you with your weaknesses and your strengths. We're going to be there together and we're going to make it work together. If you are able to do that, you have won trust for life. Whatever happens in the midst of that relationship, you are going to have peace. Because you know that this person, this man, this woman is not hiding anything from me. I understand his frailty and we are winning together. And you know that endeared the person to you. That makes you to win that person's loyalty and commitment. But when there is lies, there is deception, there is cunning and crafty way, you are going to be in trouble. Because to build it back is going to be difficult. I hope I've made myself clear on that one. Let me take another question. Let me take this question. It's very interesting. Ma, I find myself in a relationship that the man is always telling me I'm a fool. I'm stupid. I'm not talking, I was going to push it to being toxic. Toxic or not toxic, but let me arrange this and put it in perspective for this question to be fully answered. Ma, I discovered that this person kept insulting, talking to me anyhow, but I think it doesn't mean harm. He's just having a weakness. It did not mean harm, but he has a character flaws. It does not mean harm. There's nobody that will intentionally, deliberately wanting to hurt somebody that is dear to him or her. But the point is that there's a problem. There is a character flaw somewhere. Now, let me say this to everyone at the sound of my voice today. When it comes to marriage relationship, you work on yourself. There are things you raise, especially if you're a woman. And a man, it is vice versa. Marriage is 100-100. It's 100%. It's not 50-50. Build yourself, work on yourself, develop your spiritual strength. Listen to me. When it comes to the battle of life, especially relationship. Now, let's talk. That's marriage we are talking about. What about raising children? There are lots of wars and battles to fight. Race to be run, victories to be won. You need power every hour to be true. And the dimension of divinity is the only thing that will help you. Let me say this. Even if, no matter how much your husband loves you, it's very practical. Now, he loves you so much, you are dear to him, blah, blah, blah. And you want to give birth. He can't help you to carry the pregnancy. You are going to carry that baby for 9 months. You are going to push that baby. Then it becomes your own. That is how it is with divinity. You must keep your relationship on point with God, because when the ships are down, when crisis comes, that is your anchor. That is your inner strength. That is your life. That is your lifeline. You can't afford to be playing Ludo or you are gambling with your spiritual life. God is not a sugar daddy. You know sugar daddy. It is when you need him, you rush there, you fast, you pray. You must have reservoir of power, reservoir of prayers, reservoir of intercession, a lot on ground. You know, it's like having money in your account. You have enough cash in your account. You just go to your ATM, put your card and press the pin, and you get what you want. But if you are now becoming a fire brigade approach, it is when there is a problem, you now become an intercessor, you are becoming a prayer warrior. Excuse me, that one cannot sustain the storm that will come and is going to come. You have to be ever ready. There's a scriptures that, sorry if you are not in my faith, you are not a, believe you are not a born again Christian, or you are not a believer. I apologize. I know I have mixed audience, but in the light of what I know and what I believe, that's what I'm telling you. Hear me. Proverbs 24:10. It said, if you faint in the time of adversity, your strength is small. That is my favorite scriptures. It is still living. Another version says, if you shatter in the time of problem, there is nothing to you in the first place. Another version says, if you fail in the time of adversity, you are of a poor specimen. Meaning that, when they take a specimen for examination and, to the laboratory, they will destroy you because you don't have anything inside. There is nothing. Another version says, if you faint in the time of crisis, you have no strength at all. Now, how do you build strength? You build strength in the place of study. You build strength in the place of prayers. You build strength in the place of mentoring, nurturing, growing. Let me say this. I read in my own Bible, and Jesus grew. I've called my name multiple times. I said, Funke, grow. If you are not growing, you'll be groaning. You must grow. If Jesus can grow, you must grow. He grew in stature, meaning that he was living a healthy life, living healthily, wisely. He grew in stature, in wisdom. He grew in wisdom. A lot of people, listen, most of the time, our problems are not demonic problems, they are wisdom problems. If you have wisdom, even in the midst of the storm, even if you make mistakes, God will turn that mistake to a miracle. I can tell you 1 million testimonies in my work with God. Even in the midst of mistake, miracle must show up. Because it's not a man that he will lie. And you understand the frailty of humanity. But it takes a level of koinonia and fellowship relationship for you to get to that place when even if it's error, miracle must come out of it. I can tell you thousands of testimonies. The beauty of, listen to me, the beauty of building your inner strength. Jesus grew in wisdom, in stature, in favor before men. His relationship was on point. He was solidly relating. So if Jesus could grow in wisdom, in stature, in favor, you have to grow. Develop your muscles. It's so easy. It's a consistent work with God. You don't do fire brigade approach. You consistent quiet time. Do you know a lot of us, we don't do quiet time again? What we do is that when we wake up in the morning, we flip to our phone, Facebook, Instagram, news, Instablog. You are just perusing life. That cannot sustain you. The things you are seeing on those platforms, they can't build your faith. They are just killing you. That's why the woman with the issue of blood said, if only I can touch. Focus. If your eyes is single, your body will be full of light. Focus. I tell people, if you look around, you'll be depressed. You see your mates. You see somebody's children doing well. You see your own not doing well. You see somebody's built a house. You have not built one. You will see that you'll be oppressed looking around. If you look down, it's oppression, depression. When your heads are bowed 24/7, it's depression. But when you look up, I will look up to the hills. Where cometh my help? My help comes from the one that makes the heaven and earth, and he will not allow my foot to be moved. That is looking up. Stop looking around. Hey, you are not. I said it in one of the programs that I'm privileged to air here, that we are all living a script. I can't be envying you. You are not living my script. There are things that when you get to heaven, look at Mother Teresa, for instance. That woman is in heaven, stars on her crown. She had to sacrifice her marriage, sacrifice everything, pay the price and pay the price. You don't know my script, so I can't envy you. I don't know your script. You can't envy me. You don't know the script that the owner, the one that wrote the script of my life, you don't know what he has put in my script. This is it. Oh, phase 1, phase 2, phase 3, and you are getting promoted. You'll be having testimony. As something is happening, you'll be having testimonies. That is my script. Now, to you, it may be difficult. Hey, you are screaming, you are shouting, you are afraid. The person is bouncing, is feeling fresh. Because there's no temptation that comes to you that is not common to man. And it will never allow you to be tempted more than what you can bear. One of my friends, she's no more living in Nigeria. There was a time her husband was not around. And everybody was talking, was wondering, where is this person? I'm not giving details at all. Where is this person? He just left his family, blah, 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 blah. Story. She was so solid and stout. She was not bothered. Today is another story. When you know, the Bible says those who know their God, they shall be strong and do exploits. When you know the mandate, the covenant, what you carry, the rest is story. People can be pitying you, and that's why when you are going through storm, don't go for a pity party. You are not in the pit. Nobody should pity you. Now the question is, since they have been pitying you, what is the result? They will depress you the more. They will say things they are not supposed to say. They will judge you. They'll be judging you for what they don't know. You need to understand what you are living for here. And the only place you can understand your purpose is having a working, consistent relationship with God. If God looked at you and he knows you don't have the capacity to handle something, he will not let you have it. It's not possible. So what I'm living as a script is not the same thing you are living as a script. We are all living as scripts. And let me be honest with you. He that wrote the script of our lives, he knows we are not going to die in it. I've been through storms. I thought, kilo day, is it only me that this world is made for? But at the end of the day, it's a testimony. Because anything, can somebody write it down? Anything that does not have a history does not have a future. You must have history. Every star has a scar. We only turn it to stars. I'm answering this question. You need inner strength to be able to weather the storms of life. Inner strength. Listen to me. Help me to write it down. I just made a statement now that flew from my soul to this platform. If you remember, right, I can't even remember again. The moment you understand that challenges are for champions, every star has a scar. We only turn it to stars. You will be watching and looking for your stars. And listen to me. I've read my Bible through, and I would have made up my mind. I cannot envy anybody that led their lives in the Old Testament. But plus Paul, that had to have a problem with his boat capsizing, like Peter that was beheaded or whatever. I can't remember. Anything that does not have a future, does not have a history. Thank you. What it does, anything that does not have a history does not have a future. If it does not have a history, it does not have a future. There are things in this life, if you don't go through it, you can't master it. It is the broken that becomes a master in mending. By the time you are talking about certain things, people will be sitting at the edge of their chairs and say it's a lie. Are you sure? Did she went through it? How did he handle it? What happened? Because no temptation comes to you that is common to man. Any temptation that comes to you is common to man, and God will not allow you to be tempted more than what you can handle. So whatever comes your way, what you need is your walk with God. Whatever any man does, any woman does, if you know your God, will be strong. You'll be like a rock that cannot be shaken. Please build your inner strength. Crisis is a mirror. It is when you are in a challenge or in a crisis, that is when you will be mirrored. It will show you, you are so light. In my language, they say, I show you. But when you are able to stand up in the midst of the storm, then you have something on the inside of you. And those things, they are deposits. A little here, a little there, a little here, a little there. Do you know how we became fat? Naturally. How did you? I'm sure you are asking yourself, I added 10 kilo. What happened? You added because you were taking so many things in, a lot of carbohydrates, and you are not working out. The same thing with spiritual meal. Maybe you don't even know that you are a tripartite being. You have a spirit, you have a soul, you live in a body. You are tripartite being. As you feed your spirit, hear me, because this relationship crisis that is all over the place, I'm still reading that question somewhere, is here. The person is now, you are now beaten, you are being scattered, you are shattered, and the next thing is a mental home. Nobody is strong enough to take you to a mental home. When you eat physically, you are taking care of your body. When you eat emotionally, what is emotional food? Bible will help you to flush out the baggages and the garbages that is in your emotions. When you are born again, your spirit is born again. It can be there, it can be dormant. Some of my children, I've said it in one of the episodes, they asked me, Mommy, can we be born again twice? And I asked them, I said, no, you can only be born again once. But you can be born again and be a dwarf. You can be born again and be kwashiorkor. You can be born again and be malnourished. You can be born again and just be there. And it will be obvious because your character, your disposition, how you react to things, how you act to things, it will be obvious. So your spirit man is born again. It is what you feed your spirit with. Let me put it well. It is the food you give your spirit that will help you to be filtering. It's like you are filtering things that are in your soul, the abuse, the rejection, the low self-esteem. That is why if you are in a toxic relationship or you have a challenge in your relationship, if you have built your inner strength, you will weather the storm. You will know how to manage it and deal with it and handle it, and you become a star. And life will never award a failure. So what happens is clear. When you are able to build your spirit man, truly delivered. I've seen people. Let me share this my life story with you. I was so rejected. Rejection was like I was drinking water. Common to me. Growing up. From the womb to parenting to relationships, it was rejection all the way. But God is so intelligent. I remember I didn't have a knowledge of addiction. I didn't have a knowledge of teaching about relationship. I'm just doing my women thing, school of ministry, blah blah blah. I was teaching and preaching and all good way. And one year I looked at myself. I said, if you don't deal with this thing, I didn't know what it was. And one day the Holy Spirit just said to me, rejection. Hey, rejection. I went everywhere to deal with rejection. Listen to me. If you close your door, another one will open. I don't have to be in a clique to leave now. For 2 solid years, I sat down. I'm talking about maybe 30 years ago. It's been a while. I sat down. And it's like I was peeling an onion, one after the other, line upon line, precept upon precept. I was pulling out the pain, the burden, the thread, the marbled thread. You know, when you are using a sewing thread and everything is lumped up and is molded up. I was pulling it one by one for 2 solid years. I sat down to deal with the root of rejection, and I concluded rejection can only affect your feelings, not your future. I concluded, write it down, rejection is not a wall, it's a door that leads to another door. The reason why you are rejected is because they don't know what you are loaded with. The reason why you are rejected is because they don't know what you are loaded with. Have you ever asked a question? The woman that told the mother of Jesus, go and give back to your dream in the toilet. That's why you must watch your language in the storms. When people are going through storms, watch. If you don't have anything to say, shut up. Because they will make reference to your statement for life. That woman that said Mary should go and give back to her vision in the manger, in the toilet, is written in the book of life till tomorrow. Because they said there's no place in the inn. Listen to me. If that woman had known that this woman was carrying the savior of the world, Jesus Christ of Nazareth, you know the way people show favoritism, they would have allowed a smaller place for her to give back to her dream, or probably told someone that, excuse me, madam, we have to arrange a room for you in another place. We have a VIP here that has to put to bed in the inn, in the hospital. But they didn't know. So the reason why you are being rejected is because they don't know what you are loaded with. I resolved that action where I can cry, Abba, Baba. My belief, I reoriented myself. I changed my orientation. I sat down and flushed out. So I one of my books is old now, One Woman Gang. I wrote a book, One Woman Gang. One Woman Gang. I became One Woman Riot Squad. Why? Because I've been able to address the issue of rejection, and I know that rejection is not a wall, it's a door that leads to another door. How did I come to that? Inner work. I sat with the word. One day I was reading the scriptures and a word just jumped at me. Oh my God. He said, whosoever findeth you found a good thing. Say, I'm a good thing. I'm a good thing. I left my bed. It was on my bed. I was doing my Bible study that time. I started catwalking in my room. Whosoever findeth me has found a good thing and has obtained favor from God. That's the way I was able to come out of the roots, the foundation, the pang is like a labor pain of rejection. Listen to me today. I'm enjoying my life. I'm having fun. I'm basking in the presence of God. Because who else do you have? Ladies in the house. That question is very deep. If you can build your relationship with God and know who you are and whose you are, and you're able to sit down and tell yourself, bring it to the ground. It's not the size of God. My God is bigger than my question. He will settle you and sort you out. Thank you. Rejection can only affect your feelings, not your future. The moment you are settled with that, honestly, whatever happens, whatever my Lord you have taught me to say, it is well with my soul. That's the way faith, that's the way they sing when there's a challenge. Let me take one more question if I, please, ma. Okay, I think I've done that. Good afternoon, ma. I really enjoy your program. Okay. Question. There's a question that I needed to answer here. It's very interesting. Okay. Please, madam, is it a crime for a woman to use Android phone? My husband said I must not use it, and it has been an issue leading to violence. Please help. It's not the Android phone. It's the fact that you are not allowing that man to feel safe. You know how many marriages telephone has destroyed? A lot of people, people think addiction is only drugs, addiction is only sex, addiction is only anger. Anything you do without control is addiction. Do you know that a lot of us, anytime your phone must be with you, your brain is telling you phone, and now you are married, you are in a relationship with your spouse, your phone has become your husband driver, because that's where you feed your carnality or your emotions. Oh, you have to get to the bloggers and check, YouTube, all of them, and the things you are not even you are taking in, they are junks. Ask yourself, when we were growing, I'm still growing, I'll forever grow. If I'm not growing, you'll be groaning. If you don't grow as a child of God in this wicked, perverse world, a little crisis will scatter you and shatter you. Adversity will show you who you are. Do you know that when you wake up in the morning and you take in a lot of spiritual food, you are energized? This man is not because of Android phone. It's because the phone has taken over your life. It's taking all the attention he needs, and is becoming jealous of the phone. So it's not a sin. It will become especially, let me quickly say this, especially if your husband or your wife love language is quality time. Now, I'm not going to be unfair. If what you do, your job and everything, you have to be on the system, still create time. The man here is getting jealous of the device in your hand. It's not the Android phone. It's the fact that the man is not feeling the attention, he's not feeling the love, he's not feeling the care, and he just believes that probably you are even having an affair, and actually you can have an affair with your phone. Emotional adultery, psychological adultery, because now this phone, this device has actually taken the place of your spouse. So you need to drop the weight. As soon as you know that you are going to be together with him, drop the phone. Be intentional about it. Anybody that wants to call you, if they can't get you, they will call you back. The phone, when you see a missed call, at your time. Do you know there are some places where you work, some bankers don't use phone during the working hours because they know phone has become a weapon of mass distraction. Not destruction, distraction. I've seen people driving and they are pressing their phones and they have had an accident and something bad has happened to them. So make a decision not to allow your husband to feel jealous and envious of your using an Android phone. Please don't take it as if it's the Android phone. It is the fact that you are not giving him enough time. And when you switch to your phone and they switch to their phone, you are not discussing, you are not fellowshipping, you are not having koinonia and fellowship, there's going to be a problem. Yes, my husband is okay. Please, how do I know if my husband and I are compatible, and what can I do for a man that is womanizing? Please, let's leave that one. Let's look at compatibility. In psychology, there's something we do when we are dealing with people. We check their personality and we check if you guys are compatible. Let me appeal to you. It's so simple. Compatibility is simple. If you if you have money, it's better you do a comprehensive personality assessment test and compatibility test before you are married, because you have to pay for it professionally. But there are some simple things, very simple. You fight all the time. You don't enjoy each other's company. Somebody can be writing it down. You don't enjoy each other's company. You fight all the time. You argue as if you are an enemy or you are competing. You don't have peace. You don't have joy. So when I start talking about is it toxic or not, I'm going to mention a few things in that light. You are not restful. Any little topic must aggravate to contention, to argument that will lead to fight 24/7. It means that there's something wrong with compatibility there. So you need to check yourself. That's why I believe that people should do courtship. In courtship, you know few. In marriage, you know the rest. But at least there's some red flags. There's some things you would have noticed. And those things, it is during the courtship that you address them. It's not when you are married, because a lot of people can really have a tough relationship that would really mess their lives up if they are not careful in discussing those red flags. Ask questions. Courtship time is not a time to come to fornicate. It's not a time to start watching movies. It's a time to discuss some serious questions. I have been in a situation where the woman was asking the man, what is your vision? What are you living for? What do you want to become? That topic will always become a controversy, or there's going to be a fight. It's a black flag. It means that man is not going anywhere. During the courtship, the man will tell you, this is my dream. Don't worry, I'm going to be great. The whole world will know me. I'm a computer scientist. I'm going to be the best there. There will be conversation that projects the future to be great. It's not a time to keep doing funny things. It's a time to know each other. It's a time to study each other. It's a time to ask questions. It's not a time to keep quiet. I've seen a lot of relationships. When I see crisis and it's becoming, traumatic and it's becoming a pandemonium, I ask questions. I said, did you see those things? Have you experienced that before? And the moment the person says yes, I said, well, calm down. We have to work this out, because wedlock is padlock. But if that person has a personality disorder, if the person is a narcissist, sorry, it's a lost cause. Take it to the bank. It cannot change. It cannot change. What changes a man is to say, I'm wrong. This is not nice. I didn't do well. I'm sorry. I'm sorry. When you see a man or a woman that learns to say sorry, that man will go places. It's a matter of time. It means that he has a struggle and he's working on his struggles and he's going to get out of it with the help of God Almighty, and of course solid support system. Solid. Please, let's get that word clearly. Solid support system. If it's not solid, it might be a problem at the end of the day. Let me read another question. I think I have like 10 minutes or 9 minutes thereabout. I need advice. I don't know why I don't really fancy sex with my husband. I don't do extramarital affair, and I still don't know why it happened. It's a concern to me. He's a nice husband and caring to me and the children. I need help. Wow. Maybe this topic will take me an hour. But let me quickly say this. There are so many reasons why a woman is rigid when it comes to sexuality. This woman is not saying that they have an unresolved conflict, but let me go that route so that some ladies in the house will know why they are not saying yes when their husband says let's have sex. Number one, when you have deep-seated hurts. Number one. Number two, when you have conflict that is not resolved, it will affect your sexual life as a woman. Because for a woman, sex is like drawing water from the well. A man will see a woman dressed up in the morning, his wife, he wants to have sex, he has erection and he wants to go. A woman is not wired like that. She had to be spoken to, she has to be loved, she has to be told some beautiful things, she has to be told she's beautiful. She cannot stand shouting out, nagging, saying things that are not right, toxic words, negative statements, and she will want to have sex. It's not possible. I was going to ask this woman, which I'm going to mention now, how old are you? Now, a woman gets to, since she said they have children, I don't know the age. A woman gets to a particular age in her life that she doesn't really enjoy sex anymore because of dryness. I'm trying to be modest here. Now, in that case, your husband has a lot of work to do. Because of the fact that I'm talking like this, I will not go into details, but he has a lot of work to do. If he's able to do those things, you will come back to enjoy sex. And that simple thing is foreplay. You don't get into sex immediately when you start, especially when you are getting older and all of that. Now, let me say this finally. Men want to have sex every other day. If they are not thinking, if they are not frustrated, if there's no problem, because they produce several billions of spermatozoa and they want to release to their wives. So not wanting sex in your marriage, you are pushing the man out. You are telling him to go and look for another woman. And we are living in a wicked world that the devil is preaching that polygamy is natural with men. It's a lie from the pit of hell. Satan is the one that is preaching that to you. If you have heard that, if you have said that, if you have thought that, if you have imagined that, Satan gave it to you on a platter of witchcraft, manipulation. Sorry. God said, therefore a man and a woman will come together and become one flesh. To God, 1 + 1 is 1. And it's not Adam and Steve. He's not talking about homosexual. He's talking about a man and a woman. A man will leave his father and his mother and cleave to his wife, and they will become one flesh. He didn't say 3 of them will become one flesh. When they were asking Moses, what about that? Because of the hardiness of their hearts, they went to do what they wanted. But if you want to understand the beginning, you go to the book of the beginning. The book of the beginning say 1 + 1 is 1. And if God say 1 + 1 is 1, it means that every woman has the capacity, the capability to satisfy her husband sexually consistently. That's why a woman must be dynamic, must be multifaceted, must be creative when it comes to their sexuality. Because this man, you are pushing him away. Take it to the bank. He will start. It is an abomination for a married man that has a wife in his house to be masturbating. It's an abomination. There's no reason for it. And when you push a man to masturbation, that's the end of that relationship. You will need therapy. You will need a counselor. You have to do sex therapy to be free from that particular act. Because it means that you are not necessary anymore. You are not in the picture anymore. You can as well watch pornography and get into masturbation. And some people have asked me, oh, I have 4 minutes to go. What about pornography watching in marriage? It's demonic. You are inviting demon to your home by watching pornography because you want to know the method of sex. Read the Songs of Solomon. He will teach you all the sex pattern and methods you want. It's in the Bible. Take the book of Songs of Solomon and read it in New Living Translation. Read it in Good News Version. You will hear sex, you'll be tired. You will hear postures and positions and how to prepare yourself, how to wear perfume, how to smell nice, how to... Everything is there. You don't need anybody that is possessed. Those girls that act pornography, those guys, they are on drugs. They are not normal. They are not normal. They are under an influence. A normal person will not do those things the guys are doing. And the Bible says when they refuse to obey the knowledge of God, God gave them to a reprobate mind to do things which are not convenient. It's reprobate. So don't ever, if you are young and you are listening to me, when your spouse or your husband, you are married or now that you are dating, no pornography. Pornography is no. If you allow pornography in your marriage, your husband will end up committing adultery. Take it to the bank. It means that you have opened the door. Don't allow porn. If you have done it, open it up now and deal with it now before it's too late. You are setting yourself up for trouble. I know what I'm talking about. You don't have to learn sexual love making or inside pornography. It's not there. Those girls are operating under a demonic influence. Enjoy sex, explore each other. Go there, explore yourselves, enjoy your body, enjoy each other, but not that you will now sit with porn. I hope I'm not shaking tables and embarrassing anybody here, but the truth is the truth. It's the truth. If you look at porn and you look at the people doing it, you will know that they are not normal. So you don't need that. Let the Holy Spirit, ask the Holy Spirit, please teach me love making. teach me. He will teach you. I'm spiritual, Abi. That's the best way to live in this wicked, crooked, and perverse generation. Finally, to that woman, you don't know that men are visual. Men are visual. Men wants to have sex. You are refusing your husband's sex. I'm repeating that intentionally. You are setting him up for Jezebel and the Delilahs of life. Have you noticed that the only thing you are covenantally permitted to do with one person in your life is your spouse, is your husband, is your wife? The only thing you are permitted, the only place you can be naked, you can do anything, you can do anything. God did not tell us what happens in the bedroom. Anything can be done. Just make sure that you are nobody, no demonic set of people are teaching you anything. And if it's convenient for the two of you, enjoy. If you are comfortable with it, go ahead. Well, it's been awesome this evening. I've poured out my heart to you, just taking a few questions, because today is Q&A, and a lot of people have asked me so many dynamic questions that I don't have a choice than to answer. I have over 4,000 questions here, which I have to keep answering as long as life is in me, and I have the life of God. Is Zoe, the life of God is there, and I'm grateful to God for the gift of life. I want to say a very big thank you to everyone. Thank you, everyone. Thank you for your thumbs up. Thank you for your love, share, the share of love that I've received from you today. I appreciate you. Thank you so much. Please send your question to me through DM. Thanks. Send it to me through DM. Thank you for watching. If you're on Facebook, you can watch it later. People on YouTube, then follow me on my YouTube channel. Funke Adetuberu is my handle. Funke Adetuberu on YouTube. Love, like, subscribe, and subscribe and like. Okay. Thank you so much for listening. I appreciate you dearly. I'll see you. Is it tomorrow that we have been said? No. Tomorrow is it toxic or not toxic? We're going to have a blast again tomorrow. Thank you for listening. Bye.